Ciao everyone, and welcome to our third broadcast of the Leonardo Da Vinci Project. Wow, we are so excited to be with you all virtually as we are live from Milan, Italy. This place is incredible and we are so excited to be with you guys. Anyway, we are in front of the Santa Maria Grazie chapel where the Last Supper was painted. We'll be talking about that painting throughout our broadcast today. Now, we also had some amazing questions come in from so many students, and we want to be able to answer some of those again for you today. But before we start answering new questions, we had a really cool update on a previous question that was asked. Claire had asked about pets of Leonardo. Now, this is something we did some research on and found out that if Leonardo ever saw an animal in a cage, he would try his best to free it. He didn't like seeing animals in cages. How cool is that? All right, we also had a couple of questions from Owen and Samuel. They asked about his apprentice, Salai. Now, stay tuned because we'll be answering your questions today in our broadcast. Another question was asked by Samuel. He asked, why did Leonardo hate fresco painting? Well, the thing is, Leonardo didn't hate it. He just found it very limiting to his style of depicting depth and transparency, a style that he invented. In fresco, paint is applied directly onto plaster and dries very quickly with hard outlines. When he painted The Last Supper, he experimented using oil paints to try to create the smoky softness he could not get with traditional fresco. The experiment unfortunately did not work. The paint started to crack and fade, and within months, it had lost its original look. Again, we'll be talking more about that on today's broadcast. Another question was from Joseph. Why didn't Leonardo make another Last Supper on plaster? Well, we are not entirely sure why he didn't, but there were several factors that might have contributed to it. One factor was Leonardo's personality. He would start projects strong and excited, and then he'd get bored with it and move on to more exciting projects. On top of that, there was a lot of fighting going on. The Italian wars were happening around that time. The constant disruptions due to invading armies could have been a factor in Leonardo not being able to finish more work. Another question was from Clara. How many inventions did Leonardo make? And what was the largest invention he made? It is hard to put a number on it because many of his drawings are lost. Some estimate that there are about 60 to 100 inventions. Two of his largest inventions would be portable bridges and the very first army tank. He even designed a parachute that was built and tested in 2005, and it worked! Now, Leonardo's most widely used invention is probably the ball bearing, found in most machines. His most popular inventions used by kids today are scissors and bicycle chains. We had another question from Samuel. He asked, when did Leonardo die? Well, folks, stay tuned to our last broadcast as we'll be answering that question then. All right, guys, quick reminder for the teachers that you'll be loading the broadcast number 3 from our Facebook page today. Much easier for you all. Again, broadcast number 3, our package is prepared and ready on the Facebook page. All right, guys, we are so excited to get this started. As usual, let's do our countdown, starting from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spin it! Hello, friends in Utah! Today, our journey takes us from Florence to the beautiful city of Milan. So, buckle up as we explore the city where Leonardo made some of his most incredible accomplishments. One of the great accomplishments of Leonardo was the creation of the Last Supper, which was made in this old monastery right behind me. Now, we'll take you inside for a closer look at the real artwork a little later. For now, let's dive into the many other inventions of Leonardo. Around 1482, Leonardo left Florence and came to Milan, where he began working for the Duke Sforza. This decision would shape the next 3 decades of his life, as he lived, worked, and created masterpieces here in Milan. One of the greatest masterpieces of Leonardo was quite possibly his mind itself. This is evident in notebooks Leonardo started in Milan. In these notebooks, Leonardo would sketch all of his ideas for the next 30 years. Mitch has the story behind these sketches and how some museums in the area are bringing Leonardo's visions to life.
It is estimated he produced between 20,000 to 28,000 pages of notes and sketches. It's estimated that about 6,000 pages remain. They are compiled into a type of book called a codex. There are 7 codices of Leonardo's work. The codices are in museums and private collections in Italy, Spain, and England. The number of pages in each codice varies depending on which source you look at. Many of Da Vinci's ideas from these books have been brought to life centuries later by modern artists. Among those pages, Leonardo researched everything that interested him, from flight, animals, the human body, light, water, and just about everything in between. Many of Leonardo's ideas and discoveries were well before their time, with some resembling vehicles for land, air, and even for water. Although the Duke loved art, he also needed someone to design and create weapons for him, since city-states were often at war. Leonardo also made leaps in the study of the human body and took his curiosity to the next level by dissecting them. One thing that Leonardo enjoyed was sketching horses. Hey guys, so you remember last week when we had you drawing pictures of horses? Well, this is why. Leonardo da Vinci loved horses. When he was in Milan, the Duke commissioned him to create a sculpture of one. So Leonardo took his creative mind to it, and he created one of the biggest models ever. So he spent 15 years doing a clay version of it before the casting, but unfortunately, when he was about to finish, a French army came in and destroyed it. They just used it for target practice. Luckily, Leonardo took great detailed sketches of it, and now modern artists have been able to recreate it. So if you look behind me, there's one of them right there, and it is huge. In 1977, Charles Dent, an amateur artist, began a slow process of recreating Da Vinci's unfinished sculpture. It took him nearly 15 years to come up with the funding for the project, which was around $2.5 million. The help of sculptor Nina Akamu was enlisted after Charles Dent passed away in 1994. In the end, 2 casts were made and placed, one here in Milan and the other in Allentown, Pennsylvania. It stands 24 feet high. That's like 4 of me stacked on top of each other.
Hey cameraman, did you know Leonardo used mirror writings in all of his notebooks? Pretty cool, huh? This means that you have to use a mirror to be able to read what's in his notes. Let's see if the people in Milan can read mirror writing. Let's go. Are you familiar with mirror writing?
I don't think so.
Okay, are you familiar with his mirror writing by chance? Can you read this? Can you tell me what this says? See if you can figure that out, looking backwards. Can you tell what that says?
Maybe I see duh, D-A.
Duh,
Not
okay.
sure. Okay.
Leonardo da Vinci.
You got it. Can you read this one?
No.
No? This is a little harder. Try this one. Try this one. You ready?
Italy.
Whoa! Okay, are you cheating? You already know the answers. How about this one?
I think, okay, that one I can. Mona Lisa.
Oh, nice. Can you get it?
Ottima cena.
Yeah. Now we're going to use the reflection of our phone. You see it?
Leonardo. Okay, Da Vinci. I should have known.
Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah, so that's how he used, when he wrote all of his stuff, he would always do it backwards. All right, guys, pretty fun, huh? Well, now it's your turn to join us. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab a partner and you're gonna write your name backwards within 10 seconds. Are you ready? Get your pen and paper ready. 3, 2, 1, ka-chow! Pretty hard, huh? Well, if you thought that was hard, imagine painting a giant mural on this wall and have it still be considered one of the greatest pieces of art today. Well, that's exactly what Leonardo did. He painted Jesus and the 12 apostles so they looked lifelike and full of emotion, but he experimented with egg tempera and oil paints on dry plaster. That is why the paints were soon flaking off the wall. This is how Leonardo created one of his most memorable pieces of art, the Last Supper. Leonardo created the Last Supper for the Duke in the monastery, where he planned to be buried one day. Leonardo chose to create his masterpiece in the dining hall, which was large. He intentionally chose this room because he decided to depict a scene from the end of Jesus Christ's life, where he is at a dining table with his 12 apostles. The scene is bittersweet, as Christ tells his followers that one of them will betray him. Sadly, much of the original Last Supper hasn't held up too well over the centuries, but historians are doing all they can to preserve this amazing artwork from flaking off the walls. Still, it is a huge honor to be here in person and to take you guys along the ride to see this amazing artwork. This is history, guys. And speaking of history, a huge part of Leonardo's past was in 1490 when he adopted a poor 10-year-old boy named Salai, which means rascal. Leonardo wrote in his books that Salai ate as much as 2 boys and caused as much trouble as 4. It's a lot like what my mom used to say when I was a kid. Salai went along with Leonardo onto his next adventure when they left Milan in 1499 and headed for Amboise, France, where we are so excited for you to join us in our big grand finale.